Shooby dooby doo bop, dooby dooby doo bop, shooby dooby doo bop. H&P. I think we all had our own ways that we wanted to start this episode. Because I can just hear Josh gargling over here.
That's the sound that Perry makes.
It kind of was.
Yeah, how about that?
How did they make that sound?
Probably exactly like that.
Definitely a human voice, actually. I looked it up. Yeah, I think it was one of the directors did it, actually. It was like a...
That was pretty good. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think that's how they did it. Sorry, Josh.
You mean they didn't gargle water?
Well, it's way more like of a rattle. It's like Wyatt did.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
That sounds like fucking Chewbacca.
That was pretty good.
Was it? I think you're just being way too nice.
No, I'm serious. It's better than I could do.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's not good. I think that's on the lower echelon of Perry the platypus impersonations.
Yes, but it's better than mine.
Well, we haven't heard yours.
Also, echelon. Great word.
What did I say?
You said echelon.
Okay, I thought you were correcting me.
No, that's a good word. That's all I was going to say.
Great word.
I like how your initial reaction to me saying a word that you just said was like, oh, he's going to correct me.
Well, I mean, I'm not the best with words, and like I say a lot of things that like are wrong. So, yeah,
it's good.
Just what I expect.
Good shit.
Yeah.
So, how are we this evening?
I'm doing amazing.
Wyatt, how are you?
I'm doing just great.
Talk into your mic, Wyatt.
I'm talking into my mic right now.
There you go.
There you go.
I need that extra pop filter.
No, you're doing fine.
Yeah, I think so.
I sound all weird to myself.
You sound fantastic.
Oh,
It's
you.
It's
so sweet.
It's literally just like in your own head.
Yeah,
because
I really
you sound fine, and you're not like too close to your mic. Or
no,
anything.
not at all. You sound great. Hot.
Yeah, I like how you're like, I think I sound weird, but you also, to start this podcast out, did a Perry the Platypus impersonation, and we're just okay with that.
Well, hey, I wouldn't want to start it any other way. I had ideas of how I wanted to start this, and I can't think, like, it definitely was not better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I just have only intros at this point. Like, I have like a good 10-second intro, and then my brain goes blank for the pod.
Yeah, well, I think we did black out because we apparently have an extra podcast that we don't remember recording, I guess.
Not necessarily a full podcast, but there is an audio file on our recorder right now. This is a brand new SD card that we're using, and there is an extra file that we still have not identified. So, we might have been like abducted by aliens or just had like a weird shared, what is it called? A dissociative fugue is the word.
Wyatt, how's your ass feel?
That was not a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Normal, healthy?
Yes.
Yeah, feeling good?
As normal as usual.
Okay. Well, we definitely weren't abducted by aliens.
Okay, I actually do want to kind of expand, no pun intended, on anal probes. But really, that seems inefficient. Like, I know it's just like kind of a meme at this point, you know, like anal probes and aliens.
How is it inefficient, though?
If aliens are really that advanced, can't they just full body scan us non-invasively?
Probably, but
They're just into
also, or like you think about it, because like you said, it was inefficient. What's more efficient than just sticking something in an orifice that's already open? Why would you have to cut another thing or insert something? You know what I'm saying? I think it is actually more efficient.
Full body scan. You don't have to insert anything.
That doesn't. But the whole idea of the anal probe is that it's continued surveillance, right? Like they're going to continue listening.
Oh, like they're keeping something in our ass.
Exactly. What the fuck did you think it like?
I thought they were just giving us like a colonoscopy.
Oh, like just like doing a quick like
scoping.
exam. No. I've always thought like they put something up your ass and like it leaves it in there, and then they continuously like monitor it.
Okay, so maybe I was just under the impression that aliens were just giving us free rectal exams for this entire time.
But see, even then, your question is invalid about how my butt feels, because even like after colonoscopies, you don't feel a thing.
That is not true.
Okay,
I have had like okay, maybe not a colonoscopy, but I've had some fingers in my ass,
Well,
and it.
and you felt
I
something
have
like
had
you
one.
felt
No,
residual
it was a doctor's appointment. So like I had like a
I kind of figured.
okay. Well, I
Josh.
felt like I needed to elaborate on that, but apparently Wyatt has had a
Yes,
similar
yes, I
experience.
have.
Wait, have you had a full colonoscopy?
Yes. And
Okay.
the one where they go down your throat.
Endoscopy. I've had an endoscopy before.
You don't feel either. You just wake up.
Well,
like
I was knocked out during the endoscopy, so that's true.
exactly.
Interesting.
If we were abducted by aliens, we wouldn't know afterwards.
Well, I preferably probably. But that being said, I guess I didn't get a colonoscopy, but I got a rectal exam. And
Is that just the fingers up your butt?
yeah.
Okay. I feel like I've probably had fingers up my butt. I can't recall.
Well, I don't know.
No, I haven't.
maybe your ass is loose then because
No.
like dude. Well, I also had a hemorrhoid at the time. So like it was fucking painful.
So
I haven't been
that's-
back to the doctor since.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God damn.
Because the experience, because it was funny because it was my first time ever, obviously, like,
At the doctor.
well, with fingers up my ass.
Is this what they do every time?
I didn't even turn my head and cough. Yeah, so it was funny because I obviously got it, and it was painful, dude. Because like I remember, like it was only in there for like a few moments, but I was like, and I was hurting, and then the doctor did the whole, hey, so you need this, and then immediately walked out, and I don't think we've like made eye contact since.
Well, I think it was probably a worse experience for him, honestly.
What if it was like his first rectal exam?
No, I think it's because you had a hemorrhoid at the time. Like, that's
Dude.
probably not pleasant to interact with on such an intimate level.
Well, I mean, I can't think it would be very pleasant to stick your finger up a stranger's ass, like in general. I mean, unless like that's what you're there for. You know, there are people who do that.
Yeah, that seems pretty, like, vanilla, honestly.
A finger up the ass?
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing? What?
That's- okay.
That is up your ass?
Listen, bro.
I don't know if that's vanilla.
All I'm saying is the male G-spot is in the ass.
That is true. Supposedly, I've never reached it because, like, again, like that experience, like with the rectal exam, has completely ruined anything. Like,
you have this weird PTSD.
Yeah.
Where there were just a culmination of factors,
Dude.
that were just all bad.
It was
Okay,
very
Wyatt,
unpleasant.
interject before we go off topic.
Well, we're talking about things up random body parts. They were checking for to see if my the tonsils and the adenoids had grown back. They
Oh
put
shit! Because that can happen.
wait,
can't
what grew
Their
back?
adenoids can grow back.
What?
So
Yeah.
by the
What are
time I'm, like,
adenoids? I don't know what that is.
They're located very close to the tonsils. Usually, if they remove your tonsils, they remove your adenoids.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So by the time I'm 30, I'm probably going to have to get those removed again. And how they freaking find this out is they put a camera on one of those flexible metal pieces,
Yeah.
like what we have those pop filters attached to,
Yeah.
up your nose.
Oh.
It goes and you have to be awake so that they make sure not to pop into your brain.
That's actually where
That's
I
awful.
was going next. I have had a scope up my nose.
No.
It's not amazing.
Yeah.
It makes you want to panic. Like it is almost like there's no other way to describe it other than like reverse claustrophobia, where it's like I have to get this thing out of me.
Yeah.
Which actually leads me to my next mini topic here: microplastics. So
Eat more microplastics.
yeah,
We need to.
I think we do, because it will. If you go by like Crimes of the Future logic, which we
Yes.
just recently watched,
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna.
we will evolve based on the synthetic materials that we put in our body.
Evolve.
So we need to
digest
eat
them.
more plastic.
Just eat
essentially.
more plastic. Yeah, exactly. Eat more plastic.
But
Start with edible condoms. Like they already exist.
yeah,
You know.
I actually think that pretty much any synthetic material that we can get a hold of, like man-made, if we can start with like something that is edible, technically, like edible condoms, right? Edible panties.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I was thinking about the edible panties as well. Technically, anything's edible. I mean, we've like My Strange
Technically, it's
Addiction.
not.
It is though. I mean,
Because
you can eat it.
I think ingestible, right? Like you can put it
Okay.
in your body, but edible implies that your body can break it down.
Pull up the definition of edible. Because, like, I don't know. Whenever I think of edible, I just think of something
It
you
means
can
that your
eat
body
without
can,
dying.
Your body can process it.
You can eat it without dying.
There's probably a lot of things. Not everything is edible. Then your own logic is failing because there are a lot
Okay,
of things
fair
that you
enough.
can eat
All
and
right.
die pretty much immediately.
Touche. Touche.
Like asbestos.
But you should definitely eat asbestos.
That is actually a huge thing. That is one of my biggest, I guess, hot takes. Is that I think we should all work our way up to eating asbestos.
Yeah.
Because
No, I
that
agree.
is like peak human performance. If you can eat like an entire, like I would say, plateful of
Well-
insulation, right? Or like
Is that what it is?
asbestos used to be insulation. It's
It
not
used to be,
anymore.
but like, what the fuck is asbestos? Is it like
So-
it's a fire retardant.
okay?
asbestos
But
is a
what does
lot
it
of things.
look like?
I
I don't know what that looks
I
like.
have inhaled it before.
That is-
I know this because I was pulling off old drum brakes were made out of asbestos rather
Yes.
than ceramic like they are nowadays.
yeah.
And I took a whiff of it, and I was like, "Whoa, that stuff has changed."
You're like, this smells funny. Also, I can't see. Okay, so you said it was like a brake?
Yeah, so like cars, instead of having like two discs that sandwich, they actually would push out on like a drum.
Yes.
And so the padding in there
Was
that
asbestos.
Yeah, was it made
Dude.
out of asbestos?
Yeah.
So you're already a step ahead of most people that are listening
Yeah.
because usually asbestos is associated with like the older generations. It's literally that commercial where it's like, if you or a loved one has been exposed to
Yeah.
asbestos, please call us because you may develop mesothelioma and you may be entitled to financial compensation.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah, that was my best impression. Just
That was
off
pretty
the dome.
good.
Thank
It was
you.
pretty decent.
But yeah, no, I think we need to get back to that. You know, like I think we need to put lead back in gasoline.
Yes.
That'll toughen us up
Back
again.
in paint. We should
Yeah,
put lead back in paint.
And then the first place, dude, my first decree as president will be painting all public schools with lead paint.
Yes, and only the strong will survive. Like, we really need to start calling them out young. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
We only need to like get the best. So, what is a define of edible? I don't know if I trust this. This is it's all Webster's fucking dictionary, but like that's terrible grammar. Maybe that's just the question that they Google. So again, the definition of edible: something that is suitable or safe to eat.
Safe to eat. See,
Safe
that's
to
the
eat.
thing. So
You can eat a lot of things and pass
Shut
it just fine.
shut
Up. That doesn't mean you can get like nutrients from it, but it's safe to eat. You can eat a lot of shit.
You're so annoying right now.
I'm just saying, if you look at it literally, that's what it means. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can eat.
look at it literally.
Literally, if you look at the literal sense of it, actually.
Yeah, my cousin ate a rubber glove and had to get his appendix removed. So let's.
Well, he should have. You know what he
try
should have
something
done?
else,
Wait, wait,
Josh.
wait.
He
Are
shoulda-
those like two related things, or were you
Well,
just giving us two facts about
No,
your cousin?
No.
Well, the problem with that.
They found a piece of the rubber glove in his appendix
The
when they went
problem
to remove
is-
it before it burst.
So the problem is, he didn't cut it up and turn it into microplastics. He should have. He should have.
So yeah, you don't start with the macroplastics.
Exactly.
You start with the microplastics.
Exactly.
And I would
Work
even
up.
say like you can do a line of microplastics. like that's actually probably the best place for them to be is in your lungs instead of in your stomach, you know? Definitely not going to produce any sort of lung cancer by just
Definitely
doing,
not.
doing like one line.
Well, we don't know.
No, actually
We
you
don't
start
know.
with like a bump. You start with like a key bump of microplastics a day, right? And then by the time like you put this in a food processor, right? If you still have your dad's coffee grinder from that time that I recommended to snort silver, you definitely grind up like your mom's Tupperware.
So that's what you need to do. You need to cut the silver with microplastics.
Oh, dude, you can kill two birds with one stone.
Exactly. Or yourself, I
You
guess.
know. So this is something very important that I feel like I have to clarify. We're fucking joking.
For legal reasons.
No, not even for legal reasons.
But, like, just-
also for legal reasons.
But that being said, if you were dumb enough to do this, like, yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's where I'm
kinda
getting at.
on you.
That's where I'm getting at with this. Is that there are people who recommend some bullshit.
like that.
Like homeopathic remedies, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they recommend like eating microplastics, right? Like obviously we're joking about that, but there are people who recommend some insane
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
and people are like, "This sounds like a good idea.
This
I'm gonna do
works."
this." Right? Like the silver
Yeah.
thing. That's where this whole
Yeah.
joke came from.
Yeah.
So that like the eat asbestos joke has been around with me and Josh and Wyatt for quite a minute now, just because.
Yes.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
And we're working on
to,
merch, by the way.
Yeah, well, okay. We'll get to that because that is on my plate for this
See,
episode.
I thought this was a perfect time to bring it up.
Absolutely. So, eating asbestos is just funny to me because
It's
I love the idea of
hilarious.
someone just like getting like a cotton candy machine, but just putting asbestos in it and just like twirling it.
See, because
around,
like what I imagine, like, because again, I don't know what asbestos looks like. I don't think I've ever
Wyatt?
seen asbestos.
It is.
No, Wyatt, pull up a picture.
Yeah, I don't know what it. No, actually, I like this better. Describe it in detail. What does asbestos
it.
look like? Okay, he's
says no.
he's salty now. He's mad.
I shot him down.
Yeah, he's like you're the one who wanted me to talk, and then now when he wants to talk, you shut him down.
I feel like that is also the funniest part about Wyatt having a microphone is that whenever he doesn't talk, we're like, Wyatt, talk.
and then when
whenever
he does, we're just like, no,
shut the fuck up.
no.
Yeah, but we're pulling up pictures of asbestos. I am going to fill the air as best I can. Because
See,
this is-
no, it's already up. That's about what I pictured it as. Like, yeah, it looks like fiberglass,
So
which
it essentially is. And there are several different kinds. Some of them are still technically legal in a lot of countries. I believe a lot of it is recently becoming more scrutinized in America because up until very, very recently, like scarily recently, there was certain types of asbestos in baby powder.
oh,
And if you don't think that's going to cause problems in a couple of years and isn't already causing problems, because the whole thing about asbestos, Josh, is that it already is known to cause cancer and
Yeah.
mesothelioma, which
Yeah.
I believe is a type of cancer. So that's the thing, is that if you're putting this on a diaper, right, like where baby powder goes to prevent chafing, that's entryway.
I mean, it
after
could do a
entryway.
lot of stuff. Like, I mean, it could lead to like
A lot of
cancer.
A lot of people
like
are
that, or
developing
sterility.
sterility. It's a good name for like a song.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like my next poem. I'm a big poem guy.
are you? I love poetry.
No, I'm not.
I
Although I
love
will
poetry.
say a lot of my favorite musicians nowadays are essentially just slam poets
Yeah, here
that
I'll pull up.
have like a music track.
Okay, that's fair. But like, so you go ahead and continue finishing your thought.
I mean, really, that's it. But I just love the idea of humans ingesting the most hazardous materials to them. Like, I think we should all start eating asbestos. And this is where we're going before Josh tangents any further. That was actually our first idea for merch.
which I think is just awesome.
And I think we make 2 different designs. This should come down the pipeline pretty quickly.
Hopefully, by the time this is up.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. And it depends on how receptive people are to it, because I also do want to get some opinions, because we can make it just for us to begin with as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But regardless, I want to make 2 different shirts. I want to make one that says eat asbestos and one that says don't eat asbestos. And you can cast your vote by buying a shirt.
Yes. There'll be a limited time, and then we'll figure it out. We'll iron out the details. It doesn't matter.
All that I know is that I will absolutely be wearing an eat asbestos shirt because that's fucking hilarious.
I think it's hilarious too. Like it's like we'll talk about this a little bit more because like
And-
I've got some ideas.
And that's why this is absolutely an us thing, because that may only be funny to us. Like a shirt that says "eat or don't eat asbestos."
I think it's funnier if you say eat asbestos. Personally,
I
I
like
think
the-
that's hilarious.
But I also like the idea of it being on a shirt, like someone actually did, and then we have to make shirts so people actually don't. You know?
Yeah, like we'll do
I
both.
just said actually in one sentence twice. Ew, gross.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm illiterate and I can't talk, and I'm also blind and allergic to Benadryl, which is a really big problem because that's what you take whenever you have allergies.
I get it.
so.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with.
I don't know where I'm going with this sentence.
Okay. Anyway, so back to the whole because poetry, because I love poetry, man. Like I just think it is wonderful. Like I mean, art in general. You know, like you and I, Cameron, just really appreciate the act of putting yourself out there.
The act of putting out.
Putting out. I like that too.
Nice.
The one guy, so I love a lot of different poets, but the most modern poet who I would like to call out, because like it's one of probably my favorite poems ever, Rudy Francisco. He's got this great video on YouTube called Love Poem Medley. And let me tell you,
Okay.
man, like that is just some top-notch shit.
That's some shit.
Dude, I just listen to it. It's
Okay,
great.
yeah.
I really enjoy it. And like, man,
That's Josh's rec of the week.
Rudy Francisco, love a poem medley. It's probably like, so I like obviously like the big ones, you know, like the Edgar Allan Poe is fantastic. There's a few. I have like a list. But like Khalil Gibran is another one of my favorites, you know.
Is that
like,
the guy that did Milk and Honey? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Everyone just jokes about that one nowadays because
Milk and
it's
Honey,
like
I guess
it's like the most like back whenever Tumblr was a thing. That was the book that all the artsy girls would post. Yeah, that was a big
fair
one.
enough.
I'm
Okay,
not sure if
that-
the poems are actually good or not. I just remember it
Milk and
being like
Honey.
such a bit for a while.
I guess that pat like flew under my radar. I didn't see that, but
I
anyway,
don't think it was for like your demographic.
yeah, considering I wasn't like a
teenage
pubescent girl,
teenage
yeah,
Tumblr girl.
But anyway, so like I like the classics, you know, of like the older poets, you know, from years ago and like a century ago, whatever. But Rudy Francisco, man, like really, really good stuff. Everything I've heard from him is fantastic, and I do highly recommend the Love Poem Medley. Well, because I'm a sucker for romance. Like, I'm such a romantic, man. Like, love music, love poems. Like, damn it, I just love. You know what I mean? I love big. I love big, bro. And like, I just absolutely love it.
You love big bros.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Wyatt.
So, on the topic of poetry,
Yeah.
I definitely do have a favorite epic poem. You know, this is definitely not like prose poetry. It's more like epic, like a Gilgamesh or
yeah.
or Beowulf. Right.
I have one of my favorites from similar. Go
my
ahead.
favorite poem is Berserk.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so Dante's Inferno is like my favorite.
Totally fair.
Dante Alighieri. But yeah, Berserk. It's a poem though.
No,
poem.
I just wanted to segue.
Okay.
and I felt like that was a good way.
Sure, even if it's not accurate.
I would say that is better than most epics that have been written over the past
I
3,000
think-
years.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It's
no.
good. It's good. But I mean, I guess I can't think of anything that I would say is better.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Odysseus, Gilgamesh, all that stuff.
So I got Josh on Berserk.
Yes.
Very recently.
Very recently.
And I strongly discouraged him from watching the anime because at this point, if you're a fan of Berserk, you know how bad the anime is.
Yeah,
But
doesn't do it justice.
instead of taking the time to read the manga, which in general, reading manga doesn't take that much time as opposed to reading a book.
I'm a
But,
slow reader.
I mean, it's mostly pictures, right?
I get distracted easily.
So there's boobs. There's a lot of boobs.
I get distracted very easily. Okay.
But I linked Josh a video. I believe the
We
channel.
gotta call out the guy.
Yeah, I believe the channel that did it was the Almighty Lolly on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I think that's right.
I know that's
I'm
right.
verifying. Yeah, considering you sent it to me. The Almighty Lolly. Yeah, Berserk Saga full cut.
Some people pronounce it lowly. Doesn't really matter. But
He doesn't. He literally says lolly in the video. And
he's not my only source.
yeah, but it's his channel.
That's fair.
Okay, anyway.
You got really defensive over that. Okay.
Yeah, well, okay, so sorry to cut you off, and I apologize. I know that I'm interrupting you here, but like the whole reason why is because I literally was watching it yesterday, and he talked about the Lolly Witch, which you know Berserk, you know about the Lolly Witch, and that's literally how he says it. So like,
Yeah. In America, I think that's how most people say it. I don't know if there's a correct pronunciation, but the dude literally compiled like all of the chapters up to current day that have been written for Berserk, and he narrates over them. So it's not just like him reading the dialogue on the pages. He essentially gives context to each event that is happening, and he kind of gives his own breakdown. It's like a almost 22 hour long video.
Yeah,
and
sure.
all of it is fantastic.
Oh, it's wonderful. And like, so it's 21 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 21 hours and 13 minutes. Yeah, so I knew of Berserk and I knew of Guts and everything because I'm a huge Dark Souls fan, which
Huge inspiration there.
Exactly, Bloodborne, all of that, huge inspiration. So like I knew of it because like I'm a nerd and I really like Dark Souls and I watch Vati Vidya and who like does the breakdowns of like
I'm
the
familiar.
stories. Yeah, if you like the From Software, you're probably familiar with his videos. And he referenced Guts all the time in Berserk and everything. So it's been on my list to watch or read or whatever for a long time. I just never knew where to find it. So thankfully Cameron sent me that video, and I've got out of the 21 hours and 13 minutes, I think I got like 45 minutes left. So I haven't finished it yet. But I will say, like, I definitely agree. Like, it is probably one of the best stories in modern history, like very recent history in media.
Like, tell me, if someone were to take the time and effort to convert it to like an old school epic, right? Like Gilgamesh,
Yeah.
tell me it wouldn't work so well.
Oh, I mean, you're 100% right. No, like it literally is an epic, and like I struggle to think of another like story other than like again like but like this is because I'm biased and I really like Dante's Inferno. I think Dante's Inferno is up there, but like even then, like in terms of the experience, because like Dante's Inferno was more about like a bystander.
It's literally religious fan fiction. Like it's a self-insert fan fiction.
Sure,
That's what it is.
But like
Where
it's
this
an
dude,
incredible story.
it is. It's not bad. That's not to discredit it, right? But that's essentially what it is. Is a
Yeah.
dude self-inserting or
Well-
inserting himself into already existing cultures.
Sure. Well, and I mean, again, like if you look at the story as a whole, like again, like he's a bystander, right? He is simply there along for the ride, and he's just witnessing the stuff that's going on around him and doesn't really affect it, you know?
It's a POV.
Yeah. It's a POV exactly.
But Berserk is this amazing. If you haven't read it, which is the quintessential way to experience it,
Yeah.
absolutely read it. Or watch the Almighty Lolly's video on it.
Yes.
If you don't have the time to sit down and read.
Or
if
the
it's-
money to buy it or whatever.
If it's just not your thing to read,
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I personally think it's kind of a waste of time to sit down and read. Like, if you can listen to the story, like that's what you should do, and like go do something more productive. But
I think it depends.
I
truly.
mean,
but that's
yeah.
that's so whatever. That's neither here nor there.
exactly, it has no bearing on what we're saying.
But I'm so picky with a lot of the longer form stories that I read, right? Like there are plenty of manga and anime that are technically longer than Berserk that
One Piece.
exactly that I won't collect or invest as much time into just because they're so like I guess up and down in quality.
See, and that's like what's interesting is because like I'm not willing to get into One Piece because of like how long it is and how much of like a commitment it is. However, Berserk has been going on just as long as One Piece.
But it has like a seventh of the volumes, if not less.
Which is insane. I don't know. Like I know there's a lot, but like again, like Berserk has been going on for like probably 25 years now. 23, 24 years, something like that. I can't
long time.
why he's getting the exact time, but like again, like it still like is a huge like medium to like experience, but I would definitely say that it set the stage and the tone for a lot of modern day like anime and manga. 1997 is when the first issue published, and actually I think so. And actually, a little tidbit that I learned from the video is 1997 was like the rough draft, and the actual like manga started in 1998. Happened to be my birth year, so me and Guts are basically the same person. Ugh, maybe
Okay,
not.
continue your thought. You're trailing.
Sorry, I got distracted by Wyatt. Oh yeah, so in terms of like a huge medium that like is a lot, it's definitely worth like experiencing and undertaking because it influenced modern media both in America, in Japan, and just manga and action and epic fantasies in general in such a huge degree.
Pretty much anything nowadays that is fantasy related can be inspired by or was inspired by, at least in modern times, right? Not
Yeah.
talking like Lord of the Rings level, but
Sure.
was inspired by either Game of Thrones or Berserk. Truly.
Oh yeah,
Those are the big inspirations because they came out in
Sure.
like the perfect sweet spot time.
Yes.
But we Josh said, at least listen to the video. I do want to circle back to this just really quick because it's important to me. If you can pick up the manga, absolutely do it, just because the artwork is probably
Phenomenal.
It's some of the best.
Phenomenal.
In any medium, period.
I would definitely agree. And what's so again, like I've never read it, but it is I listened to the video and like it's definitely something that I'm going to pick up. I want to pick up the entire like series and everything. But from what I gathered from the video is like again, like the guy, I can't remember the author's name. Do you know?
Kentaro Miura should be his name.
Yeah. He was so young when he started, and he did pass away last year. So his team is taking over like the works. But like again, what makes it so special and so incredible is one, it created a lot of the tropes, like I was mentioning, like how it influenced modern media and everything and fantasy. But like to see this guy's vision just grow and evolve, and not only just the vision, but the art and just like, man, you just so you're not just watching the characters develop, which again, some of the best character work, character arcs, and just some of the like best stories that you could probably read in recent history.
You're invested in almost all of the characters at all times.
Exactly. So not only are you watching these people on the page evolve and grow, but you're almost watching the artist evolve and grow with it as well, which is just, it's very incredible. And I know some people who are probably purists who are like, oh, you've never even read the manga or whatever. I'm going to be like, yeah, it's easy to say or whatever. But honestly, even through the video and even through not actually experiencing this manga like in person, like that's how incredible of an experience and how incredible of like an art form it is that it portrays even through somebody else reading it and breaking it down is like how influential it is.
Absolutely. And man, it really is like a once in a lifetime piece of like art in general.
Yeah.
It's just very special. And I remember because it was such a big deal whenever it happened on like Twitter, whenever the artist / author passed away, everyone was just outpouring their love to him, and obviously his team and his family that are still here. But man, he was fucking incredible.
Yeah, no, it was. It's an incredible story, and just yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but whenever he wrote the first arc of Berserk, he didn't really know where he was going with it.
Yeah, that's again like the video, the Almighty Lolly does a really good job of like talking about it, and he mentions that, and it's just
I couldn't remember if that was in the video.
Yeah,
but we can relate to him in that way.
Yeah, because
we start every podcast like it's the first arc of Berserk. We don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, we don't know where it's going to go or where it's going to end, but it's going to be a good journey.
Yeah, where it's going to be just as beautiful and heartbreaking and poetic as the entire story of Berserk.
Hopefully with a lot less rape, though.
Hopefully.
Preferably none. Preferably none.
I like how you're like, oh, ideally, like if we can get away with it.
Like, I'd rather not have
zero
rape. Like, that would probably be ideal. That's a number I'm okay with.
I'm not going to comment on this one. I'm going to let you brew in that comment.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway.
So, yeah, if you haven't read it, if you haven't experienced it in one way or another, read, don't watch the video on Berserk. Because it's fantastic, and I could talk about it. I could start another podcast about it.
Honestly.
It's worth it. But
yeah.
Regardless, go do it. I have a Berserk tattoo on my neck. Like, that's how much I love it, just in case you were ever curious.
The brand of sacrifice.
See. But do it. That's all I got.
Do it.
Do it.
That's it. Berserk's fantastic. Read it, watch it.
Read it,
whatever.
Watch it. Wyatt, what are we at for time?
3 minutes, 34 seconds.
3 minutes?
Yes. No, 34 minutes.
Okay.
We're only at the 34-minute mark?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That blew my mind. I was like, there's no way we were just talking for only 3 minutes.
I knew it wasn't 3, but it also feels like it's been longer than 30.
No, it feels great.
My dyslexia kicked in, and I was like, It's 43. No, it's 34. And then I was like 3 minutes and
That's okay.
4 seconds.
Well, here, there is actually something I wanted to bring up because we were talking about this before we started this recording. And Wyatt, we need some explanation from you. Well, and it's not anything crazy. The Wendigo interference. What is this?
Yeah, okay, so brief context. He just drops this bomb on us before we start recording, and he's like, oh, it's probably just the Wendigo interference that's the extra recording on our recorder. What the fuck is that?
What?
Yeah, so Wyatt's going to take the floor for a second and
explain to
just
us.
give us a brief breakdown, because
I know what a Wendigo is.
Yeah,
but
same, but I've never heard of Wendigo interference.
Me neither.
No, so supposedly, in the old days, it was the Wendigo, Fleshwalker, depending on, or this Fleshgate, Skinwalker. Yes,
Yeah.
that's where I was going with. Supposedly, they used to be able to like actually influence people's mind, especially the Wendigo was known to influence people's brains into making them cannibals, right? So here recently, it's become a thing where like supposedly they can manipulate technology the same way.
Oh. Did you just say supposedly?
Supposedly.
Supposedly?
Supposedly.
I'm putting that on a
Supposedly.
t-shirt.
More
With a
merch
V.
coming soon.
Yeah, exactly, with a VE.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Okay, so essentially, from what I'm getting from that is that Wendigos can mess with electronics the same way that like certain paranormal entities like ghosts are said to be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, theoretically.
Interesting. See, I'd never heard of that before, so that's super interesting.
So, neither have I. But like, can I also just say how funny of an image that is? Like, there's some dudes just sitting in a room doing a podcast, and there's like this fucking giant, like, just this giant, like, flesh-eating monster just standing outside of the window, and just fucking giggling its ass off. It's like,
Yeah, the lights are flickering on and off.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like, what's happening?
But not even the lights. It's just like their recording's gonna be ass. Like, fuck these guys.
Their mics are going to be peaked the entire time.
Exactly. Like, how funny is that? But like, let's be real. If I was like a Wendigo, or like I who knows? But like, if I was like,
Wait, who knows if you're a Wendigo?
no, like, so because like, okay, so sometimes like it doesn't matter.
Josh may need a stimulant in his body because he is losing track right now.
No. I'll tell you. I'll get there, but I'm gonna get to the point first. Like if I was like a supernatural being, like how, like I think it would be hilarious to just fuck with people. But if I was a Wendigo, I'd be a flesh-eating like monster with no like cognitive thought, right? So then I would probably be just like running around eating things. So like that's why I was like, actually, like I wouldn't be. You know, because I wouldn't have that thought. But how fucking funny would that be if, like, you became like a supernatural monster and like you just like kept your like cognitive ability and you're just like, I'm gonna fuck with these people. That's what I would do if I could.
It's like a beautiful roller coaster ride every time you start talking.
Well, thank you. I yeah.
It's just good because I can tell that there are certain moments whenever you start talking and you're like, well, let's just see where this goes. And then your brain interjects on itself sometimes, and you are making perfect sense to yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm like, finish your point.
I know.
Stay on target, please.
Well, it's because I don't know. Yeah. I sometimes
See, that was
you're
good.
Exactly
That was
right.
good.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah.
Great content happening today on the pod.
Totally. Yeah.
So there was one other thing, since we're talking about supernatural entities currently, and this may change by the time that this episode goes up, but neither of us have seen Jordan Peele's Nope yet, the new movie.
That's true.
And I don't have much to say about it, other than we need to watch it, and
Yes.
I will definitely make a note of it whenever we do watch it to at least give a brief review of it, just because that one's been on my radar since the initial posters came out. I love Jordan Peele.
I haven't watched a single Jordan Peele movie.
Don't say that. Now we have to watch all three.
Well,
There's only three.
I could think of a worse way to like spend an evening. But
Such
yeah,
as?
not watching Jordan Peele's films is worse than that.
Fair enough. I like all of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I trust your taste. Like, I think you have very good taste in films
Oh, thank you.
and media in general.
It should be out on like physical media pretty soon. So
Okay.
as soon as it comes out, I'll cop it, and we can have a little mini marathon because
Yeah,
all of his movies are very good. They're very poignant. They make very good points, and even if you take away none of the deeper meaning from them, they're still very well crafted movies. So
Yeah.
I adore all of them, but that one has been on my radar, and I like the alien angle that it's taking. I know a little bit more
I
about
like
the movie than I would
aliens.
like to, but at the same time, it's not going to take away from
I
my
literally
viewing
know.
experience.
All that I know about the film is that it is about aliens.
Cool.
That's it.
You cut me off, and I'm a little salty at you. That's all it was. That's all that silence was. Just because I know we're still working out the kinks. We're still getting our sea legs here. But I'm like, Josh, I was talking, and that's okay. You can interrupt me in real life all you want to.
But on the podcast,
Exactly.
we need to keep it professional.
I don't know if professional's the word. We've literally talked about goatsy already.
Goatse.
Yeah, goatsy.
Goatse.
But
Yes.
it is just funny because that was one of the things that we talked about prior to recording. Is like we need to just not.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I apologize.
See?
All right.
Literally, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, we need to not cut each other off. So,
Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, what were you gonna say anyway? That you knew more about the film than you wanted to?
yeah, I mean that's essentially it. That was
Okay, motherfucker.
Hey,
then.
hey. So, this is where your brain is. That was literally like 2 minutes ago that I said that, and then you cut me off after that.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Like
And it's
that
okay.
second time, like you're
I'm-
right. But
I'm
like I
literally-
felt like that was the end of your statement of like I know more about it than I wanted to.
That's not the point. It's the principle. I'm a man of principle,
I respect that.
so I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Thank you.
We are. We
Okay,
are.
we're good. We're good. We just had to center up a little bit, you know. That's all it was.
A little bit of a lover's quarrel.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Every-
Mommy and Daddy still love each other very much.
Exactly. We just don't love you.
Who are you?
Why are you here?
What? What are you doing?
Okay, Wyatt, don't talk. What are we at for time? I think that's a perfect place to cut it. If everyone's okay with that.
Yes. But I think that we should cut it at the... What time is it? I think...
Perfect.